welcome to the Winning Daily Podcast. We're here for February 25th, 26th. Handful of bets today. Some college basketball, very little NBA, no soccer to speak of for tomorrow, but we do have a little bit of tennis as we wind down in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the Montpellier and Singapore Open. So let's start out with the tennis before we bring in Dynamite David for our college basketball picks. Let's start out at the Singapore Open. We're going to go with Adrian Manarino, minus 225 versus Radu Albat. Albat has been hot, but this is too much of a step up in competition. So we like Moreno to cruise here at minus 225, but it was a good run for Adu, and we had some nice bets on him during this week. Then we're going to go on to Marin Cilic, minus 135 versus Sun Woo Kim. Sun Woo Kim we've also had a nice little run with, but this step up in competition is usually where it ends, so I look for Marin Cilic to cruise past pretty easy. And we're going to take our guy one more time, Alexander Bublik, minus 155 versus Yoshihito Nishikawa. Really like Bublik here. He's been playing great. Nishikawa upset us today, but I think he runs out of steam here versus Alexander Bublik, who's just been playing great. The great Kazakh tennis player, Bublik, minus 155. Should be a pretty easy win. Let's go over to France and Montpellier. We're going to go with David Goffin, minus 1/2, plus 115 versus Lorenzo Sangio. We liked Sangio the other day, but I think Goffin's just too much a step up. I really was confused by this line and how Goffin was the underdog in it, but we'll take Goffin and the better player here, though this should be a pretty good match. And then we're going to go with the Spaniard. He won us over yesterday by beating us, and Alejandro Devanovic, Fokina, minus 1.5, minus 135 versus Igor Gresmanov. Really like Fokina. Watch that match and just think he's playing really well. So he should be able to cruise here and get into the, I believe it's a semifinals tomorrow, or technically it would be on Saturday, but tomorrow for us. Really like Fokina here, minus 1.5, minus the 135. Only one NBA selection today after a big slate yesterday. There's a big slate today, but I didn't like any of the games, really. We're going to go with the Sacramento Kings on their 7-game losing streak to finally break that. Sacramento Kings plus 1.5 versus the New York Knicks. Let's see if we can get some Kings action and they break that losing streak and get over the hump versus the New York Knicks. Sacramento Kings plus 1.5. All right, big slate in college basketball. Let's bring in our man, Dynamite David. All right, we bring in our man, Dynamite David. We got a full slate of college basketball today. Dynamite, you ready to get into some college basketball? Lots of games today, lots of Big Ten action, lots of Pac-12 action. That means the Dynamite has a full slate of picks for us.
Yeah, I've got 5 picks in those 2 conferences. There was quite a bit I really wanted to bite at, couldn't quite pull the trigger, but I think I've got 5 good ones for you.
All right, let's hear them.
All right, we're going to start out west in the Pac-12. First off, I like Oregon State plus 1.5 at Cal. I think these teams are kind of trending in opposite directions. Oregon State's had a couple of good upset wins in the past few weeks. Still not amazing record, but I think they're the better team, and them getting 1.5, even though it's on the road, I think they should be able to win this game.
Yeah.
Next up, I'm going to go with Arizona State minus 9.5 at home versus Washington. This is normally a bigger spread than I would like to take, but I think this Arizona State's team's also trending up. They got a really rough start to the season, got a bad shake, just a lot of games canceled, never could get quite into a rhythm, and they've been playing better lately, and they're at home against probably the worst team in the Pac-12 in Washington, so I look for them to win big tonight, double digits.
And Bobby Hurley you trust today, I see.
All right, now we're going to go to the Big Ten for a trifecta of picks. I've got a lot of picks in the Big Ten. It's my favorite conference to pick this year. We've talked about it a lot. Going to start off with the smaller matchup, Minnesota minus 4.5 at home versus Northwestern. Minnesota's been on a rough streak, but for the most part, they've played really solid at home, and Northwestern's really bad. I'm going to take minus 4.5 with Minnesota. Then I'm going to go to a team looking to rebound from an ugly loss, or not an ugly loss, but a disappointing loss. Ohio State looking to bounce back after that rough loss against Michigan. I don't think they need to hold their heads low, hang their heads over that, but I think they're going to be looking to bounce back, and they're going to take it out on a struggling Michigan State team on the road. And I've got a -3.5. Last up, speaking of that Michigan team, I'm going to take them minus the 5.5 tonight at Iowa. I think this Michigan team's just better all around. Now Iowa can score the ball well, but uh, just the guard play that I saw from Michigan last weekend just really impressed me, and I'm going to go with Michigan minus the 5.5.
All right, a large slate of Big Ten games. I think you're going to like my slate because it does not involve a lot of Big Ten games. It involves a lot of games that I'm sure people have never heard of. And we're going to start out right out the gate. Merrimack -2.5 for St. Francis. We love riding the Merrimack at home. It hasn't been quite as lucrative for us as it was last year, but it's still a pretty good bet. Their only home loss is to Bryant. They also lost to Sacred Heart in one of those weird back-to-backs that started in January where they were just kicking off the season. But otherwise, they've been a pretty solid home team. So I really like them versus St. Francis, New York. They're both about the same level team here. So I look for Merrimack to cruise on the road as they are on the road at home as they usually do, minus the 2.5. And then we got a special one here. I don't advise anyone watching this. It is two extremely, extremely bad teams ranked in the high 300s. We have SIU Edwardsville -4.5 versus UT Martin here. This is a good one. One you won't find very often. SIU Edwardsville on a 5-game losing streak. UT Martin on a 4-game losing streak, none of which have ever been all that close on either side.
What budget website can one stream that matchup on?
It will be on ESPN Plus for anyone really entertained by very, very bad basketball and probably very poor lighting in the gym as well. But SIU Edwardsville -4.5 versus UT Martin. This should be a real exciting contest. I can't give you any numbers on either side that make either team look extremely very good. But I just think Edwardsville at home should be better than UT Martin. But two really, really bad teams. Next up, we're getting a little bit better, at least excitement-wise. We're going Long Island and Bryant over 163.5. Both these teams are 4th and 5th in KenPom and pace ranked. Bryant is extremely good at offense. Long Island isn't that far behind them. Neither are all that efficient, but the tempo should be extremely, extremely high. So I look for this to go over. Especially in the last month or so, a bunch of these Northeast teams have been trying to muck up the games and not let Bryant and Long Island play their fun style. So when they match up together, I look for them to at least let themselves go. Lots of shots up, lots of fast pace over the 163.5. And lastly, we're going with the sneaky best matchup of the night. Boise State +6.5 for San Diego State. I just think Boise State's a little underrated here. They can't get any respect. Somehow they sweep Utah State at home and dropped 3 spots in KenPom's ranking. I'm not really quite sure how that worked out. But anyway, I think this should be a really good matchup.
Yeah, this is one I looked at. I like Boise State here. I just couldn't quite pull the trigger, them being on the road. This is a big test for them, and I think they're going to be wanting it more just for tournament seeding and getting in the tournament. So that may help them out as well.
Yeah, that was my thought. I think San Diego State's probably firmly in the tournament.
Yeah.
I assume Boise is probably firmly in the tournament as well, but everything I see ranked does not have them there, but they should be. So hopefully they can pull this off and move themselves into the tournament. That being said, I also have the under on this game, 137.5. Both these teams are actually really, really good on offense, but they're very slow-paced teams. They don't play fast-paced games, so I think this will be an efficient game, but a very slow-paced game, especially with it being such a big game towards the end of the season. So I look for that under to go under 137.5. That's my college basketball picks for the day. Be sure to follow us on greenlightnetwork.org, Greenlight Network on Facebook and YouTube. Dynamite, where can we find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at GLN_D.
I'm GLN Champ 5 on Twitter and Instagram. That's our show, and we're out.